Hello, welcome to our unique learning system language arts lesson. My name is Charlotte Lucas. I am an autism low incidence mentor teacher with Richmond Public Schools, and I am delighted to be able to work with you today. Our focus for today will be editing a paragraph. First, we will review some vocabulary. We will edit the paragraph. We will use a graphic or organizer to remind us of our focus when editing. And then at the end, we'll do a little review. We have a lot to do, so let's get working. All right. Today, we're going to be editing a paragraph. This is the paragraph we will be editing. It's an opinion about walking Mr. Smith's dogs. Okay. Now, when we're editing means that we're going to make changes. We're going to be correcting any punctuation, capitalization, spelling. We will be making changes if there have been mistakes made in that area. So a question mark is used at the end of a question, and a period goes at the end of a sentence. An exclamation point is used at the end of a sentence to show strong feelings. Now, I know everybody knows what a period, exclamation mark, and a question mark. Everybody knows what that looks like, but this is your punctuation. This is what you'll be using. Okay, the first word of a sentence and names of people and places have to be capitalized. In order for a sentence to be correct, every sentence begins with a capital letter. Every sentence ends with punctuation. If you're doing capitalization right, everybody's name has to be capitalized, and special places. The names of special places also have to be capitalized, okay? And we want to make sure that we spell all of our words correctly and that the words in the sentence are in an order that makes sense. A sentence has to make sense. So if the words are out of order, it will not make sense. And those are the things we're going to be looking for today. And this is the paragraph we're going to be working on. All right, what I did, I retyped this document into a Word document because it's easier for me to edit that way. So I took this document and I typed it into a Word document. And that is helpful for us because the Word document has some advantages. Number one advantage is if a word is spelled incorrectly, it'll fix it for us. And not it'll fix it, it'll show us. We're going to do the fixing, but the Word document will tell us this word is spelled wrong because it'll put little squiggly lines under it, little red squiggly lines. If it's a blue line, the system is going, what's going on here? What is this about? They want us to check it, but they're really not sure what we would like to do. But that's why I like to use a Word document. When you have done in the writing process, the first thing that you do is you brainstorm about your writing. Then you do a rough draft of your writing. After you've done some brainstorming or free writing, then you make a rough draft of your document, meaning that this document, you don't have to spell all the words correctly. You don't have to use all of the correct punctuation. It doesn't have to look pretty. You're doing a rough draft. This is the document that you're going to edit. After you've done your rough draft, then you edit your document. That's where we are right now. But after you edit your document, you take it and you put it in a Word, you type it into a Word document. And at that point, that's extra editing, and you can get all of your spelling taken care of. And you want to hand in documents that have been typed most of the time. So this is the document that we're going to use. And as you can see, our words that are spelled incorrectly have already been underlined, but that's okay. We're not going to do spelling first. No, let's get rid of some really, really easy things when we look at this document right quick. If you've done this document, you kind of already know where your mistakes are, but this document has been done by someone else. So we have to approach it differently. Number one, it's a paragraph. And if it's a paragraph, all paragraphs begin with Yes, you have to indent. So let's go ahead on and indent this. And all you have to do is hit your tab key, and it'll tab it over, and you have just indented. You want the first line of your paragraph to be indented. The rest of them go back to the margin. And that way, whenever you change to the next paragraph, it will be noticeable. Now, another thing that we can do really quickly is we know every sentence has to end with some type of punctuation. Well, look at this last sentence. We know that that's the last sentence. So there should be some kind of punctuation. Let's put a period there just to begin. And that'll get us started. And another thing that'll get us started, and I really like to do, is I look for all of the I, the word I. The word I must be capitalized no matter where it is in a sentence, guys and girls. So if you see the word I, go ahead, and we'll just go ahead on and fix that right quick. Get that over with. Capitalization has been taken care of for that. Now, I'm going to read it through for you. Now, it doesn't have any periods. I don't see but one, maybe one period in this. So if there are no periods, I cannot stop. Periods tell us to pause, slow down, stop. If there are none, I can't stop. All right, so let me read it to you. I think walking Mr. Smith's dogs in North Hill Park is not an easy job. The leashes get tangled and we cannot get them apart. One goes dog to the right and the other goes to the left. You must make sure they do not bother people. Oh, that's one big run-on sentence. I'm telling you, it just goes on and on and on and on. Would you like to walk dogs in the park every day? So, we've got to make this make sense. We've got to put some periods in here somewhere, because you know that's not going to work. That's too long. And what happens is when you're reading out loud, your word, when you're reading a sentence, you have a natural pause. And so what I like to do is I like to go through and put punctuation at the natural pause and see what happens, see if it's in the right place. So let's see if we can get a natural pause. I think walking Mr. Smith's dogs in North Hill Park is not an easy job. A natural pause. That sentence came to an end, and I'm just going to put punctuation, period, right there. That's a natural pause. We'll see if it's right or wrong in just a minute, okay? Now, if I have a period here, then this word has to be what? Capitalized, because it is the first word of the next sentence. So let's go ahead and make the capital. That way we know we've got our capitalization straight. The leashes get tangled and we cannot get them apart. That's a natural pause. I think we can put a period there. Let's put a period there. And if a period goes there, then this first word in this sentence needs to be capitalized, right? One goes dog to the right and the other goes to the left. Natural pause. I think that's a good one. I'm going to put a period right there. Oh, that's a comma. Let's put a period. That goes a period. You must make sure they do not bother people, period. That was already there. Would you like to walk dogs in the park every day? Would you like to walk dogs in the park every day? That's a question, isn't it? It is a question. Well, if it's a question, I certainly cannot end it with a period. I have to end it with a question mark. Excellent. So I'm going to exchange this and get a question mark there. And that's how it happens sometimes. All right, when you're editing, you just go with the flow and fix it as it comes along. So let's do another thing. If we are doing punctuation capitalization, let's see if there's any names in here. Do we have anyone's name in this document? I think walking Mr. Smith's dogs. Mr. Smith is someone's name. And because it's someone's name, we have to capitalize it. So Smith. Mr. Smith's dogs. Now, should I go on right there? I shouldn't go on, because Mr. also has to be capitalized. Excellent. Mr. Smith's dogs in North Hill Park. All right, so I think that's the only name that I saw. I've checked out the name. What about places? Are all of the places in here taken care of? Let's see. I think walking Mr. Smith's dogs in North Hill Park. That's a place, isn't it? And it's the name of the place. It didn't say in the park. This writer gave me the name of that park. So if it's the name of a place, then I must capitalize. All of the words have to start with capital letters, unless they're little words like is and the and a and or prepositions. So let's make that H a capital H, North Hill Park. That's a place, and we have capitalized it. Oh my, this isn't so bad. Let's go back through and see what we have. I think walking Mr. Smith's dogs in North Hill Park is not an easy job. The leashes get tangled and we cannot get them apart. One goes dog to the right and the other goes to the left. You must make sure that they do not bother people. Would you like to walk dogs in the park every day? Well, something's going on here. First of all, there's a period right here. Thank you for telling me. Somebody was yelling at me, Miss Lucas, you missed that capitalization. Let's fix it. That has to start with a capital letter. All sentences begin with capital letters. All right, we've done a good job. Let's see if we can get some of these spelling errors out of the way. I'm excited about that because we've got some really special ones in here today. Let's start with vowels. Usually it's the vowels that people get wrong. I cannot hear the vowel sound E a lot of times, and I will mistake that and use that incorrectly. The vowel sound O sometimes becomes a problem, but let's see what this does. There's a squiggly red line under this one, and this is spelled incorrectly. Dogs. This says, if we look at this word and we look at how it's spelled right here, this is a vowel team, OA. Our vowels are A, E, I, O, U, sometimes Y, sometimes W, but O and A are vowels. Now, if two vowels are together in a word, then the first vowel will make a long vowel sound. And a long vowel says its own name. So an O would say, oh. This says this word would be dogs. I can't even say it. Dogs, dogs. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm sure that this is the vowel is the problem in this one. And we kind of know how to spell dogs. That's one of the first words we learned how to spell in first grade. So I'm thinking that should be D-O-G-S. The red line, squiggly lines went away, so that's correct. Let's find another one. Red squig. Oh, get. We cannot get them apart. We cannot get them apart. But what's wrong with that word, get? That's what I said, get, and that's what it sounds, get. Well, the problem is we say get all the time, but it is not pronounced that way. That word is pronounced get. Get them apart. So we have to give that a new vowel sound. G, it. It's not get, it's get. G, egg. What vowel is that? E. Excellent. Thank you very much. We cannot get them apart. Woo, we're doing really well. Let's see. We cannot get them apart. Let's find another red squiggly line in here. Okay. This one. What is wrong with this one? Ick. Ick. Because the I is saying like igloo. It's a short vowel sound. How do we know it's a short vowel sound right there? Because it doesn't have anything that helps that I say its own name or be a long vowel. It's going ick. Would you lick to walk? Would you like? I. We need to change this I. We need to change these letters so that I says a long I sound. And the way that we can do that, does anyone have any ideas? The easiest one, the first vowel transformation that you find out about is silent E. Excellent. So if we put an E there, I, the E makes the I say I instead of I, like igloo. How do we know we have the right pattern? A silent E has to be E at the end, consonant vowel. Silent E, consonant vowel, starting at the end of the letter. So we know that this will be I because the E, because of the pattern. Silent E, consonant vowel. L, I, k, like. Very good. We fixed it. I'm going to tell you something. The next squiggly red line is a real doozy because it's confusing. It's confusing. Let's look at this. Day. We talked about vowel teams, didn't we? A and I are vowels. A, E, I, O, U. Both of A and I are vowels. And the first, when you have a vowel team, which this is, the first letter would say its own name, but the last letter will say nothing. The I will say nothing. The A will say A. The only time that vowels can be long vowels is if they have help from another vowel. Well, this is the vowel team, and AI will say A. So this word is A, day. It says day, in the park every day. But that's the incorrect spelling, isn't it? So everyone here knows how to spell day because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, everyone knows how. So we're just going to automatically change that vowel to Y, day, every day. Very good. Very good. You were right there with me on that one, weren't you? Let's look at this one. We have a blue line under here. We have a blue line on we. Well, that is saying we. E. A vowel team again, two E's together will say what sound? E. Very good. So what's the problem? What's the problem? Well, since you're in high school, I'll tell you this. When you have a vowel at the end of the word, oh, I took my Y away. When you have a vowel at the end of the word, that's called an open vowel. And an open vowel always has a long vowel sound. So you don't have to put an extra E on it because that E, because it's at the end and it's open, meaning that there's nothing else beside it, it will say the sound E by itself. E, we. So that was the problem with that. That's why it was a blue line instead of a red line, because we is a word, but it was the wrong one. I think we may have gotten everything. What do you think? I'm looking at it. Everything looks good. What about this word? Cannot. What can we do with this word, cannot? Is that correct? Should it be can not, like that? That is the funniest thing about the English language. The word cannot is a word by itself. And you can also do can with the space in it, cannot. That's okay too. Either way is okay, cannot or cannot. Or can anyone turn cannot into a contraction? Can you do that? Do you know what a contraction is? Yeah, it's when you take two letters, you take two words, you put them together, and it makes a new word. But in order for it to be a contraction, you have to take some letters out and add an apostrophe. So let's take out the O and the N and put in an apostrophe, and that word becomes can't. We can't get them apart. Cannot can be turned into a contraction, and it becomes can't. Well, is this a contraction? This doesn't look like it's two words that were put together. This is not a contraction. We have an apostrophe S and an apostrophe T, but this is not a contraction. This word is a possessive. It shows possession. What does Mr. Smith own? He owns whatever comes next. He owns it. Smith's dogs, the boys' shoes. If most of the time, there might be some some situations where it wouldn't happen. But if you have a word that's a possessive, whatever the word that comes next should be whatever that person possesses. So Smith's dogs, Mrs. Lucas's glasses. Okay, whatever comes next is what you possess. And in this place, in this sentence, Mr. Smith owns the dogs. Well, let's see how good we've done. I think walking with, I'll start again. I think walking Mr. Smith's dogs in North Hill Park is not an easy job. The leashes get tangled and we can't get them apart. One goes dog to the right, one goes dog to the right. One goes dog to the right. Oh my, that doesn't make sense. One goes dog to the right. I'm having a problem with that. What do you think? Do you think there was a mix-up? Let's try this. I'm going to block this and I'm going to move it. And let's try. I moved it. Did you see what happened? Let me show you again. It said one goes dog to the right. And what I did was I blocked it and then I moved it. See the cursor? I moved it. I love this word system. I'm telling you the truth. I love this word system. It helps us to make all kinds of corrections, and it's very easy. One dog goes, now it makes sense, doesn't it? One dog goes to the right and the other goes to the left. You must make sure they do not bother people. Would you like to walk dogs in the park every day? Now, here's an example of someone who has a job and they don't like it. You know, if you have a job, you may as well like it. So when you apply for a job, make sure it's something you would like to do. So right now, I think this paragraph is in great order. We've gotten rid of our errors. We've taken care of our punctuation. We've made sure our sentence, all of our sentences make sense. Capitalizations. I think we've done a great job. Well, if you're writing a if you're correcting a document, you should have, excuse me, you should have with you a graphic organizer that after you have done your editing, you can go back and check your graphic organizer that helps you to see if you've done everything you're supposed to do. You can always, it's always handy and dandy to have something like this on hand to ask yourself the questions. It says, do I have a capital letter at the beginning of the sentence for names of people and places? Did we take care of all of that? Yes, we did. Check mark. We have done what we were supposed to do. All right, next question. Do I have punctuation at the end of the sentence? A period, question mark, or exclamation point? Did I take care of all of that? I did. We had a question at the end. I was really proud of that. Excellent, we caught it. All right, does my sentence make sense when I say it out loud? Two things are important here. Does it make sense? And when I said it out loud. When you are editing, it is a great idea to say your sentences out loud. That will help you to see if it makes sense, and it will also help you with your punctuation. Does my sentence make sense when I say it out loud? Yes, we did find one that didn't make any sense, okay? Are all of my words spelled correctly? Well, thanks to Word, we had all of our red squiggly lines. We fixed all of our misspelled words. So using this graphic organizer with all of the things that we should have checked, it seems like we've done our job. I want to go back and I want to look at one more thing before we end, because I'm old school. And when you're old school, there's some things you don't let get away. You don't let slip by. And one of those things is this comma right here. Now, because we were trying for capitalization, punctuation, I wasn't too concerned about commas, but this comma kind of is a sore thumb for me. When you connect two sentences with the word and, it's not a list. It's two things being put together, two sentences being put together with the word and it does not require a comma. Okay, so I left it there because we were not editing out for that today, but I was concerned that you would think that I hadn't noticed it. So I wanted to bring that out. If we take it away, let's see what happens. Yeah, it's pretty, one dog goes to the right and the other goes to the left. There shouldn't be a comma there. So I took it out. If I'm wrong, somebody else will edit it for me. Okay. Well, I think we've done a great job today. We went through, we checked used our graphic organizer to check to see if we've done all of our corrections correctly. And it seems as if we did. And we were able to make this paragraph make sense. You've done a great job today. I see you're remembering all of the strategies that we've used before. Great job. I will be bringing you another edit next week. I hope you have a great rest of the week. See you next time. Bye-bye now.